So, every review needs a good opening line, so before we start this off, I'm going to try out a few. Come with us now on a journey through time and space. No, wait, can't use that one. In a galaxy far, far away. No, can't use that one. Welcome to the jungle! No, I knew that. I can't use that one. How about, on the way to hipster paradise, the British Animal Collective arrive. No, it's crap. It really is. So we're going to skip that until I get it down. But we're going to go into this now. So this is my review of Bombay Bicycle Club's new album, So Long, See You Tomorrow. It's got some pretty cool artwork there. Now this is a very interesting band, because they're one of the few bands out there that decides that the sound of an album is completely different from the sound of a band, because they changed it up every single time, and not just like, your usual. They changed it up like, bam, we're a new band. Yeah, that's right. It's just like, okay, you're not going to be the same every time, and I'm not going to be comfortable every time I'm going to have to go out there and try something new. But I think I like it. So let's go into some history on Bombay Bicycle Club. So, Bombay Bicycle Club were formed as an English rock band from Crouch End, England. The singer is Jack Stedman. He's also the lead guitarist. Jamie McCrull is the guitarist on the back. Sir Desarum is the drummer. Ed Nash plays the bass. So, their guitar fronted, they have mingled through tons of genres, as I say, but you can't really pin that down because, well, I'll get to it in a second. First, let's just move on through. They actually met at the age of 15 and began playing under the name The Canals after performing together in school with Jack's current girlfriend, Molly Acetotes. They switched various aliases until they picked Bombay Bicycle Club, named after the now defunct chain of Indian restaurants in Britain. The lineup changed regularly throughout the summer of 2006 when Ed Nash joined the band after they met him at a funeral. That's a way to meet a band member. Initially, they played gigs at local London venues such as the Old Blue Last, Lark in the Park, and Jackson's Lane. They were entered in the Verizon Mobile's L Road 5 competition on Channel 4 in 2006. They were announced as one of two winners in the competition on August 16th, beating out fellow London band and favorites to win the competition, the Holloways, in the final round of 14 bands. Previous participants include the Young Knives, who were winners of the inaugural competition the year before. They were given an opening slot in the inaugural festival at V Festival on the Channel 4 stage in Kemsworth, for opening for Satisfier the previous day. They actually took quite a long time to make their first album. In 2007, they put out an EP called The Boy I Used to Be, and following that, they went on a UK tour and played Reading Leeds everywhere. The second band's EP came out. It was How We Are in 2007, but we have to go way up ahead until 2008 before we get I Had the Blues, but I Shook 'Em Loose. We go from there and move up to the second album, Flaws, in 2010. 2010, also A Different Kind of Fix came out on June 2011. And now we're at this one, our 2014 arrival, So Long, See You Tomorrow. Well, the thing that's interesting to me about them, like I said, is that they're so different. They've evolved as a band in a way that most bands can't even scratch the surface. Because when you start it off, you get this sort of... it's hard to describe. 2009's sort of it's an indie album. It's an indie kids album. It's starting off just kind of scratching the surface, but it's a really good album. I like that album a lot. It's an alt-rock album, I guess, mostly, but it's folk-influenced. They really decided to switch it up with Flaws. It's more alt-folk than the previous one by a lot. In 2011, they just went crazy with the synthesizers for the first time and became dance rockers. And now this one, I don't know. This one's a completely different bag, too, because it's got that synthesizer thing going on, and it's got the dance rock vibe, but it's also got this dream pop thing that they do. But at the same time, they always put elements in from the previous albums. I find that fascinating. They're just able to just bring it all together. I don't know. I think the question is, the answer here is, what they could have come up with is very different from A Different Kind of Fix, but it's also just aimed at a more mainstream audience. I think that's the thing they were trying to do the most here, is they were already very aware that they had a good fan base going, and they're very, very cult following. They sell out tours everywhere they go. But as I go through the songs, you'll see. So it starts off with Overdone, which is probably one of the best songs on the album. It uses strings with mixed synthesizers to become a very strong alt-rock song with just really catchy hooks. It just immediately, right off the gates, you're just sucked in. The next song, It's Alright Now, fades into the flourish of vocals before breaking into the song itself. This song uses a female vocalist, same one as you'll hear later on a bunch of tracks, including Luna, and it makes use heavy on the synths. It's a strong alt-rock indie song, but it's got a lot of dream pop things to it as well. I think that this is a tougher one to classify because they haven't actually done dream pop before until this song. Carry Me adds in elements of almost dubstep to the already synth and beat-driven song. It's a dance pop song mostly, but it's got those beats that drive it through. Here, Home by Now, enters the James Blake territory. It's got this piano thing in it that just drives it through, but it's also led as a ballad and molded by this beat that drives it. So it's piano, ballad, beats. Like I said, sort of James Blake-ish. After that, we get to Whenever, Wherever. It's essentially a dream pop song. I mean, there are other influences from the synths and the beats, but it comes off as just a dream pop song for the most part. I think this is the part of the album where after Home by Now, it sort of shifts. It's not as fascinating for me. It's hard to say. I'll get to that in a second. Luna is the next one. It mixes folk, alt-rock, dance synths with worldly sounds and instruments. They use them throughout the whole album, but you can really hear them here. It features another, like I said, a female vocalist, and it seemed to aim at breaking into the mainstream because it's got a more mainstream pop sound when it comes to, like, you know, some beach house-esque a little bit, trying to aim into that area. Eyes Off You is a slower song, and it's one of the only real ballads on here. That's all you can really get from it. Feel is my personal favorite, actually. It's making real good use of this worldly sound and different instruments that they wanted to use so much on this album, and it takes it to the max because they use a lot of it. It's like a mix of like Arabian, mariachi, and indie to me, because you get the synthesizers and you get the horns, and it just kind of combines into this interesting layers. I don't know. I like this song a lot. It's just so different from everything else on here. And then we get to Come To. I don't know. This song loses me because it's like waking up in the middle of like this really good story. You just get snapped out of it, and you just can't like get back into it. You're like, I'm just lost now. The magic is gone. You broke the spell. I can't get back in. And this album is way better than the song would show because it just, I don't know. It's not unique at all. The momentum the album built up so far is just like gone. It seems almost lazy, looped and repetitive vocals everywhere. I mean, there's synths and such, but they used them so much better on all the other songs. It's a shame because it's right near the end, and the last song after that is So Long, See You Tomorrow. It's another quieter ballad, and it doesn't stick out to me as much. Again, it's not the best way to end the album. It's not awful, but it's not the best thing either. Those two songs are the ones that really lose me, but the rest, the other 8, are super strong. I really like them a lot. The best ones, it's almost like if you take the first 4 songs, that's the key here, except for, like I said, I really liked Feel. But those 4 could have been just an amazing EP, but they needed more material, obviously. The album itself is great, but it's not 100% there because the last 2 just let you down. It's a good change because they're driving force to a new album sound with the synths, and it's very open up to new followers. But the thing is, it seems like it could lose some old school followers because they just wanted to be some more mainstream, and they're not anything like they used to be, which is hardly a bad thing. Look at Radiohead. But I don't know. The best songs on here are Overdone, It's Alright Now, Carry Me, Home by Now, and I liked Feel a lot, but a lot of people didn't. So those first 4 definitely check out, and you know, it's still a really good album. All you say, it really is. So I think this is opening them up to a sound they might actually stick with in the future. But then again, they've done nothing of that in the past, so I could be just talking out my ass. So 4 stars for this album. It's a very good album. I'd like to think that the other stuff, older stuff, is better. But, you know, 4 stars. I like it.